After the March 25, 1913 Great Miami River flood, the city of Hamilton and its residents were in a desperate state. All four of the structures that crossed the river, the Blackstreet, High Street, and Columbia bridges, along with the Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Western Railroad Bridge, had been swept away by the raging waters. In addition to the arduous task of cleaning up from the carnage, many buildings were either destroyed or made uninhabitable. Residents could not cross the offending river to get to their jobs or transport the needed items for everyday living. Crucially, attached to the now down bridges were the various lines that carried water, natural gas, and other utilities across the river. The first attempts to regain this commerce across the Great Miami River after the flood, via pontoon bridges, failed twice, with the surging waters washing these floating structures away. The pontoon bridges, in any event, was by nature insufficient to meet the great needs of a city being rebuilt. A more robust effort was a hastily constructed ferryboat named the J.K. Cullen, would only be slightly more successful. The size of the craft limited the load it could carry, along with further constraints from the variation of the river levels and currents. The ferry ran from April 23rd until May 10th, making 1,066 crossings in its 18 days of operation. What was needed was a temporary bridge of substance that would allow a regular flow of traffic, including interurban rail cars, private cars, trucks, and pedestrians, as well as the installation of gas and water lines to the west side of Hamilton to allow the city to rebuild and some semblance of normal operation to return. A number of contractors stepped up to make bids to build a temporary bridge, but all would require months to marshal resources and materials needed to begin such a large project. Enter Daniel Willard, president of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. The B&O owned both the Cincinnati, Hamilton, and Dayton and the Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Western Railroads that bisected Hamilton. Upon hearing of the plight of the city, Willard offered the services of the Cincinnati, Hamilton, and Dayton Railroad crew that was just completing the temporary bridge for the CH&D Railroad just downstream of the now washed-away High Street Bridge. The Butler County Commissioners would hire the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad on April 23, 1913, to construct a temporary bridge at a maximum price of $11,984.11, with the railroad stating it would only charge for time and materials. Work on the temporary bridge literally started the next day, with employees from the CH&D simply moving a few blocks up the street to start on the new assignment. The Ohio Electric Railway, an interurban line, would contribute $2,500 to the reconstruction effort, thus allowing their tracks to cross the river and return to operation. The building of this temporary bridge, as it was called, at High and Main Street, was an epic feat of efficiency, cooperation, and resourcefulness. On the eastern side of town, in order to install wooden pilings upon which the temporary bridge would rest, the CH&D would utilize the tracks of the competing Ohio Electric Railway on High Street to deliver the equipment and material right to the river's edge. Across the river, on the west side, the CH&D would lay a temporary rail line down Main Street to bring supplies and a pile driver rented from the Rock Island Railroad to begin construction from that side of town. Railroad engineers, known for their productivity and speed, would work from both sides of the river simultaneously, literally 7 days a week, to complete the temporary bridge. The temporary bridge would be completed and opened to a much-relieved public on Saturday, May 10, 1913. Work would continue to install various lines for utilities in the days following. After completion, the temporary bridge would be faced with a new threat from the river, this time from an ice jam. In February of 1914, ice on the Great Miami River was thick due to extremely cold weather. Placement of the wood pilings to support the bridge would not allow the resulting ice packs to easily move through the bridge supports. Ever resourceful, on February 19, 1914, the Butler County Commissioners arranged for dynamite and a rented pile hammer delivered on the Ohio Electric Railway track on top of the bridge to break up the ice pack and reopen the bridge to traffic. On a happy note, it was reported that the final bill presented by the CH&D Railroad to the Butler County Commissioners was for only $6,500, far below bids received by other contractors, the highest of which was for $17,000. The temporary bridge would serve Hamilton for a year and a half until finally dismantled beginning in late January 1915 after completion of the permanent bridge. The permanent bridge, completed in December 1914, would serve Hamilton until dedication of the new High and Main Street Bridge in 2007. We would like to thank the Butler County Historical Society, the Lane and Midpoint Libraries, Dave Orsi, and Dan Finfrock for contributing photographs to this production. Be sure to come back to this channel for further videos about the Cincinnati, Hamilton, and Dayton Railroad. A companion book to this series, The Wreck of the Cincinnati, Hamilton, and Dayton Railway, a pioneering road undone by greed and fraud, can be purchased from the Cincinnati Railroad Club online bookstore at cincinnati.rrclub.org. The cost is $49.98.